Welcome to another episode of Beer Fish Fanatics. This is Grandy with My Pop Fishing. We have
Fishing kit or just kit.
and today, just to kind of give everybody a heads up, we were just having some fun with Kristine here. She's actually our guest. So a lot of people, I'm actually super excited because you are probably the most accomplished guest we've ever had on our podcast. I guess you could say in the short span term that we've had it, but I'd have to say I'm a huge fan of yours. So just to kind of give everyone just a quick little, background, we have Kristine Fischer. She's a kayak fisherman, fisherwoman. Is that how you say it? I want to make sure.
No. Fisherman
Okay.
is totally fine.
Okay, cool.
We are not PC here at all.
All right. I just want to make sure. And everybody, you guys have to check her out. She has a YouTube channel under pretty simple, Kristine Fischer. And then also make sure you guys follow her on her Instagram here at Midwest Fisher Gal. And, the cool thing about this is that she has won multiple times. I think last year, you won 3 times on the national level. That was awesome. And then she actually qualified to represent the United States at the Hobie Worlds this year. Was it this year? Did that happen this year? Or
COVID? It was supposed to, but COVID, it's over in Sweden.
Gotcha.
And they got hit pretty hard. So it's scheduled for 2021 in May.
Oof,
so fingers crossed, y'all get to go represent our country in May. So we'll see.
Yeah, that isn't too far away. It's almost November.
It's just a couple months, right?
Yeah. So, but like I said, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to just kind of pick your brain, because we're a bunch of novice kayak fishermen, or at least we're trying to be. I guess I don't know what do you call it, right, Kit?
Hi.
What a surprise!
We got another guest.
We have another guest. Okay, say hi, Scotty. This is my daughter, Scotty. Say hi.
Hi, Scotty.
That's Uncle Kit, and that's Kristine Fischer. Say hi.
Hi.
Cool. So you're gonna be on the podcast, it looks like, buddy. So you have any quick questions real quick, or are you good, honey? Thumbs up. All right. Okay. Love you, bub. Okay. Well, that was interesting. That was unexpected.
Awesome.
Sorry about that, guys, but
That's all good.
Story of my life. But anyways, as I was saying, thank you so much, Kristine, for just joining us. We're gonna have a good time.
Guys.
Today I just wanted to we'll do a quick shout out again to Caro's Brewery out here in Central Iowa. So if you ever get a chance, if you come out here, we'll get you some Caro's beer. They donate some beer to us, so we're like, I'm not going to say no to free craft beer, especially when it's good, right?
Oh, that's all.
Sure.
There's some good things going on over there.
Exactly. So I'm going to drink the IPA today. I think Fishing Kit had the IPA the other day. So this one, I'm gonna give it a shot. What are you drinking today, Kit?
So I got another Carol beer, the mild.
Yeah, I had that one too. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And then just in case anybody's listening and watching, Kristine has said, I'm going hardcore today. She's going straight, or not straight whiskey, but she's doing a little nice little drink of old fashioned over there, correct?
That's right. Yeah, it's a classic old fashioned, nice big giant ice cube in there, muddled. I mean, it's pretty good.
Cheers,
Wow.
cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Not just hardcore on the water, but hardcore on the drinks too.
It's a culture over here. It's a hardcore culture.
Nice. So you are kind of in the land of whiskey down there, so you gotta indulge a little bit down there. But
absolutely.
If you want to just do a quick brief introduction about your background and everything. I know I kind of give the acclimates of what you've done in the past year and a half, but so people who are listening and who want to know more about you, if you don't mind, Kristine, can you give us just kind of quick background about you?
Absolutely. I'll keep it pretty short and simple. Fishing has been a huge part of my life since I was a kid. My earliest memories are when I was 2-3 years old, going up north with my family in our old school van with carpet on the walls and this old little resort on Boundary Waters. And I've been fishing since I could crawl and been in the outdoors. I grew up without a TV. So a little different upbringing than a lot of us, I think, have is, the outdoors was kind of my playground, if you will. So, then fast forward, worked at a sporting goods store, managed a hunting department, sold in fishing. So I've always kind of been that textbook tomboy that kind of grew up in the boys' world. That's just been very natural and normal for me. And I had a flyer come in that said, there's a kayak tournament, like local kayak tournament, when I was working at the shop. And I was like, man, that sounds freaking awesome. Like, love fishing. I love to compete. Why shouldn't the two go hand in hand? And I bought a used fishing kayak, went out and I took third. At this time, I was the only girl there and didn't know anybody, but quickly fell in love with the sport. And, I've always had this dream of like being this professional fisherman ever since I was a kid. My government teacher actually had a bet with me, and I told him, I was like, look, I'm going to own my own boat someday. I'm going to be a captain. And when I do, he's like, yeah, if you ever do that, I'll quit my job and come down and be your first mate. So that still stands. It's been a lifelong thing for me. And from there, I just started fishing more. I started qualifying for national tournaments. And when I fished my first national tournament, I was hooked, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I felt like, my lifestyle's always been a little unorthodox, and I've taken that road less traveled, and it just, doors started opening and the success started coming. And so I kind of just ran with it. In the last 2.5 years, I've lived on the road full time. I sold all my furniture. I rented out my house that I own back in Nebraska, and I've been living on the road fishing kayak tournaments for 2.5 years. So, and now I've landed in Tennessee in the fishing Mecca, and will be here, for as long as I feel like it, I guess.
You're kind of living the dream.
Well, it's not everybody's dream, and it's not an easy life. It's a road life. I don't have anything anchoring me down. I don't have kids. I don't have a, relationship or anything. So there are sacrifices. I'm pretty busy with everything. So it's but for me personally, yeah, it's my dream.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous as hell, man. I mean, because I tell my wife that all the time. Though I do want, when the kids are a little bit older and they're kind of self-sufficient, I would love to just jump in an RV and just travel and fish. And my wife's not a huge fisherman, but she always kicks my ass when she fishes with me.
Of course.
Yeah, it's. Go figure. You can ask her brother, ask her. Yeah, she'll be the first to tell you. Yeah, I kick his ass all the time when we fish. So,
awesome.
But it's so funny. But it's that is the dream. I would love to be able to do something like that. So it's kind of cool. And then, like I said, make sure you guys got to check out your YouTube channel. It's just kind of cool to just kind of see how you've grown and everything in the past couple of years, and it is pretty badass. I mean, to me. That. So, how does it? Okay, so my thing was, so last year, I think you had an outstanding year. I mean, like you said, you had 3 wins, national level and everything, and then you qualified. I mean, how does it feel to be, I think you were the first female, right, to qualify for the U.S. team for Hobie World. Can you explain a little bit, how does that feel, and what was that feeling when you finally found out that you qualified and you won the tournament and everything?
That was kind of my breakthrough moment. The year prior to that, they qualified the first and second placing angler, and I placed third, and it shattered. I mean, it shattered. Like, I thought I had second, the guy didn't submit his fish till later, and I thought I had it. I thought I qualified for Worlds, and I came up just a tiny bit short. And so I was like, man, next year. And then next year they made the qualifications even harder, and you had to win the tournament to qualify. So they didn't take second place. And so I was like, man, I got to freaking win this thing. And it wasn't easy. Like, that series averages 130 anglers from all over the country. There's like 30 of them that do it full time and are fishing. They either fished the Bass Opens or BFLs or whatever. And there's a lot of, the competition's unreal. And I went into this tournament, having experience on Kentucky Lake, and I remember I was tied for first on day one, actually with a good friend of mine that was fishing way, way, way up the lake. And so we were kind of having a little bit of that healthy camaraderie there. And I said, man, it's bad luck to be actually leading, because he had big fish for the tiebreakers. He was technically leading day one. And day two, I just knew that with the weather changes and the pressure dropping, I knew that my bite was going to be even better, and it was. I didn't get to really lean on my fish on day one. I didn't fish it real hard. I wanted to make sure I left myself enough in this. I was fishing in one area, and turns out I probably didn't need to do that, because I caught like 35 fish on day two. I leaned on it hard, and I murdered them. I mean, it was just like I thought it would be. It was on fire. I knew that I won it, and just winning it. The last thing I thought about was the fact that, I'd never really seen myself as like a female angler. I've always wanted just to be looked at as an angler, but all of these, everybody made a kind of a big deal about that the year before when I got third, because it was the highest a female had ever placed in a national tournament. And the newspaper stuff always said like this female angler places highest. And I was like, man, I don't want that. But when I won and I had all these messages from all these women all over the world coming in, I was like, okay, so it's bigger than just me. I can accept that I have to kind of look at it with a big picture in mind and acknowledge that, yeah, I am a female in this. And that is a big deal because of that, because it hasn't really been done. And so that was kind of I changed my perspective on that whole thing and almost embraced the fact I'm a female that happens to be an angler and, loves what I do. And it was kind of a really cool thing to see all these women just flooding my inboxes with all these messages, and like everybody was almost had my back. Like, that the entire room when I won, I had tears in my eyes, and all the guys, like these people were like my family, and I can't tell you how many of them that were on the stage with me at second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place, and all the guys in the room said that they wanted me to win that tournament more than they wanted themselves to win. Wow. And I just felt like, the support that I've been shown from my kayak fishing family, and they're super, they're competitive guys, and, it's one of those things that I knew they truly wanted to see me do that because they knew how hard I'd worked for the years prior. And it was one of the best moments of my life. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Props to you. That's badass.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
So how does it feel like, since you've taken a different stance on the gender thing, now you kind of got like a platform to, I guess, inspire young girls, females, or maybe even dudes, like, because you've done some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's something I never take for granted. I know that I've kind of created this voice, and I feel like I almost owe it to the female angling community to continue to keep pushing and breaking these stereotypes and pushing these preconceived, limits that we can't compete at that level. And so I almost feel like I got to keep going with it. And it's really cool seeing all these, I went to the Bassmaster Classic. I've been there the last 3 years hanging out, helping my sponsors out with some things. And I've had so many young, like kids, like 7, 8, 9-year-old kids that come up and like recognize me and want me to sign their hat or their shirt. And they're like, I'm going to fish. I'm going to be just like you one day. And man, how freaking cool is that?
Yeah,
like
that
just the
cool.
fact that I'm seeing, like, cause growing up without a TV, I'm a huge advocate for kids being outside. That's big with me. I just don't see as much of it anymore with the social media and the devices, whatever they're called. Like I didn't have any of that growing up, so I'm not really tech savvy. But when I see that, I'm like, man, like, we have a chance to really make a difference in the world, and that's a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah, I think I look up to you because because like I said, I'm a father of 4 daughters, and I know I want them to get more into the outdoor stuff and everything, and they're slowly getting into that. So just to have someone to, in a way, to, I know you didn't expect to be someone to to do that, to be looked up to in that sense, but you embraced it. So my hat's off to you. So that's, like I said, it's so cool. And then, like I said, my kids were super excited because I showed them a couple of your videos and everything. They were super excited. Like, hey, Dad, you gotta ask her a few of these questions. And even my daughter just jumped in, and right there you can see she was just super excited. She just wanted to see you on that. I want everybody to kind of say, like you were saying, you were traveling the road the last couple of years. How, I guess because you were a full-time tourney kayak fisherman pretty much. And what's your day-to-day when you're traveling literally the whole year? I mean, what's your day-to-day like? Are you pre-fishing every day or prepping for the next tournament? Or because to do that as a living, I mean, like I said, that's almost every fisherman's dream, to be able to fish for a living. And that's what Fishing Kit was saying. You're living our dream in a way. And, we want to know I want to know what's your day to day. I mean, how do you prep for a tournament, or just what do you do?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm going to kind of be totally transparent here, because I think Brandon Polinick just did an incredible interview on this very topic, on like the reality and the truth of what it actually means to be a professional angler. Right. And a lot of, with social media, a lot of people do such a good job of just showing you the the butterflies and the unicorns and the the highs. And it's like, I've always tried really hard to be totally real, and show that it's not just this uphill climb all the time and everything's gorgeous and the sun shines and the weather's perfect. And I try to really be a realist and let people know, because I think it's important to do that, because it could very easily look at my life and they could say, man, that grass is greener. I wish I had that.
Mhm.
And where it fits really well for me, and I'm a very optimistic, positive person, that no matter if things are going really tough, it's usually I can have a really good disposition and everything. And I think you have to have that in order to try to do this thing full time.
Mm.
But so what it consists of is, if I'm not pre-fishing, I'm fishing. I'm working, I'm honing my skills. I'm trying to get better at everything I do. And the interesting thing is, people ask me all the time, I fish tournaments all year round. It takes up a huge amount of my time. If I get a free weekend, what do you do? I'm still fishing. I'll drive, like after that Kentucky Lake tournament I won, I drove 5 hours south, the next morning, got on a river at 6 a.m., caught a giant muskie, fished all day and did the same thing before I had to go to my next tournament. So if I'm not fishing, I want to be fishing. That's just kind of how I'm wired. And it's a nonstop deal. But on the road, you're either living in and out of your truck, or you're getting hotels, or it's just this nonstop. You're not eating very good. Your body's tired. I've got calluses on my hands. I'm sunburned all the time. My hair's never looking good. So it's like, there's a lot of things that aren't always glorious, but I'm kind of a simple, minimalistic type of person. So I'm able to make it really work for me. But yeah, I'm studying maps. I'm watching, reviewing for the next lake coming up. I start my practice weeks in advance, even though I'm not on the water. I'm always listening to reports or podcasts regarding a certain fishery I'm going to. I'm scouring Google Earth, doing all of these things to make sure that I'm as prepared as possible, like kind of going into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if I'm not doing that, I've had a lot of podcasts. I've got business stuff, the sponsorship obligations. I'm making videos, getting photos, doing things. Because when you're a sponsored angler, that's a full-time job as well. So it's the hustle. I know it sounds cliche, but the hustle doesn't ever quit. I mean, it is full time, and you got to be able to keep at it. So there are pros and cons. There's good and bad. So far, it hasn't got to the point where I feel like fishing is a job. It's still a dream for me. It's still a hobby. It's a passion. And I think if I ever get to that point where I feel it becoming a job, I know that something's got to change. Because I don't ever want to get to the point where I feel like I'm working. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree. And I think your results definitely show that it's not, it's something you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can just tell, because people don't succeed if it's not something they love to do in a way.
Oh, this is my I get a lot of crap all the time for like from my friends, for my reactions. Like but I think it's pretty genuine. I've caught probably 100 muskie in my lifetime, but even if I get a follow, like my knees start shaking, I get super animated because I live and breathe it, and I can't help it. I overreact with everything. I mean, my giant bass, I was losing my mind. It's like you would think I never fished before, but I fish 360 days a year. So it's like, why is this chick freaking out? Like, she must have never caught a bass before, but I just love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm not a big bass fisherman, but I can respect the hustle. Like when it comes to like grinding it out for tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, I see. Is that a striper in the fishing kit down there? Is that what that is, or a wiper?
Yeah, wiper, striper.
Wiper, yeah.
It's kind of my favorite fish in Iowa.
Yeah, so I actually fished a little lake in Kansas, like right on the border from Nebraska, Kansas, that I won't say on here, but it had an incredible hybrid, what we call them wiper, the stripes
Wipers.
and white, but yeah, we call them wipers down there. Down here they call them hybrids. But anyway, this lake it's like it's happening right now. It's just starting to get good. Like it's getting colder, and I'm planning on going down to that lake and fishing for them because they get schooled up and they smoke like swim baits and lipless and blade baits. It's such a great bite. So I'm already planning when I'm back home for Thanksgiving to go to this lake and get on that wiper bite.
All right,
I'm gonna so fun.
I want to have the message.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I want to have the message you, Kristine, because we literally we go to Kansas all the time to fish from Iowa for because we meet up with my brother-in-law's. It's like a halfway point.
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to. I might have to hit her offline, Kit. We're gonna have to hit Kristine up. We'll see when and where she's gonna go, and
Yeah,
we can possibly do something around November-ish when she
absolutely. Yeah, I'll be back for a week over Thanksgiving. I'm looking
Nice.
forward to it.
Yeah, I'm always down to go and fish.
Yeah, it's cold, but man, if they're on, it's one of my favorite bites. It's a good time.
So like with your videos, is that something you've always wanted to do, or is that just became a part of what you do, or do you just want to look back at like your old footage, see what you did, see what you could change?
So interestingly enough, I never ever wanted to be a YouTuber. I kind of had a weird stigma there, and I was like, man, these people are like they're putting these clickbaity captions up, and like I don't like watching YouTube, so like why I don't ever want to do this. But then when I started fishing tournaments, there were two main reasons why I decided to do it because I'm still pretty new to YouTube. I've done it for maybe 2 years now. I think I'm going on 2 years.
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds about right. I'm relatively new to it. But when I first started having a little bit of success 3 years ago, because females traditionally didn't do well, didn't have the amount of success on their own. And I had some trolls that were coming out saying someone's catching her fish for her or they're doing this. And I was like, you know what? I can see, with a lot of success comes that's all it always happens. So I was like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to literally record everything that I do in a tournament, the decisions I make, the areas I'm fishing, start to finish, every single catch, and why I'm switching up baits. I'm going to talk about it for one, to educate people and so they can literally be with me on the water, see my casting, see what I'm doing. And for two, it protects me 100% because all the proof is right there. They can see that my mechanics are sound, that I'm thinking things through, and this is why I'm fishing where, and I've put work in this game. So, and I like to be able to go back and kind of see it serves as like a research and reports for me. So I used to keep a logbook on moon phases and my trophy muskie catches for years and years and years. And YouTube for me acts like that. I can go back and see, okay, what was I doing for this tournament? I remember but what were the conditions like, or what was this? And so all of that is documented in my videos and the map study. And it kind of allows me to go back if I want to and do that. But mostly people want to say someone caught these fish for, there's the video. Watch it. Knock yourselves out. But
haters gonna hate, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man,
that comes with territory. I expect that people that haven't fished with me, because it's something that really hasn't been done. We have never seen a professional female angler, and hopefully I hope to do that and qualify for one of the professional bass tours like the elites or whatnot. So
just FYI, you shouldn't have to expect that though, honestly. I mean, come on. I mean, if you catch, come on.
The internet, it's a dark place.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
It does. So. And I've got pretty thick skin, but it does just kind of cover me. Yeah. It does. And I'd rather have it be like that. So you don't have a person sitting there saying like, here, take this fish, or everything is on video.
And the thing is though, you guys got to check out her videos, because you're right. By you doing that, it actually helps the people who are watching. And the reason being because you're giving tidbits, like a lot of stuff, because you're telling what you're throwing, why you're throwing it, and then all of a sudden you switch, whatever lure, whatever you did, and the reason behind it.
Yeah.
Because a lot
of came out, wind picked up, so I'm going to do this, and you see exactly where I'm fishing and why I'm fishing it. And people are like, man, you got to stop doing that. You're going to give away all your juice. And it's like, well, you got to do it, And
I'm going to tell you, because if people start watching, they're going to be like, shoot, you have to watch and subscribe to her, because you're right. Because the stuff that you're giving away, I mean, granted, it's complete secret knowledge, technically, as a professional angler, but I'm telling you, the stuff that you were giving away, I was like blown away, and then just learning with you while you're doing it. So I was kind of figuring it out, like, wow, okay, that totally makes sense now. But a lot of YouTubers don't have that. They just show their catches, their excitement, and whatever they catch. They don't really go into detail. But your channel and the videos I've been watching, because like you're saying, you're trying to in a way cover yourself, but you're teaching.
And that's the other reason I did that. I wanted to teach. I want to be able to offer, insight and experience and knowledge to everybody across the board, to your tournament angler, to your person just getting into it. That's important. And I think it's, I love to educate, and a lot of
Yeah.
people have shared things with me. So I want to give back in any way I can and kind of share what helps me be successful. And
Yeah.
it's burned me a couple times. I've had people, watch my videos, and then next year I go to this lake and my spot's got 30
Oh
people in it.
no.
But you know what? That's part of it. The elites, everything they do is on live TV, and they know,
Yeah.
and it's like it challenges me to not rely on history,
Hmm.
and to look at the lake and find new fish, because I know that my spot's going to be blown up because I'm going to share it all. So,
Damn. You're
yeah.
inspiring me, man. That's badass. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So through your success from last year, and I think you actually you won another tournament also this year
I
too.
did win. Yeah, I won Hartwell this year. That
Yeah.
I had a little tougher year in the tournament trail, but I had a lot going on in my life, and fishing is a huge mental game, and I
Yeah.
had a lot of stuff happen. So it was, yeah, that tournament fishing took a little bit of backseat this year.
Gotcha. So what would you say was your biggest reason for your success in 2019? Would you say of the tournaments that you won, what if there's like maybe one or two things that you can say like this was the reason why I won?
Mhm.
What would you say was your secret to those success? If you can give that away
Oh
here, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. The first and foremost thing is last year, my life solely revolved around tournament fishing, and I
Okay.
sacrificed everything else and poured myself 100%. And I worked, I mean, I was pre-fishing. I was on the water from 5 a.m. until dark every single day. Exhaustion, running 5 or 6 ramps. I mean, I've literally put every single piece of any efforts or energy I had into tournament fishing, and because I
Mm,
wanted to see what I could do. Now, even I had the most successful year ever tournament wise, but man, it left me kind of drained on like every other level. So
okay.
this year I was trying to kind of find a little bit better of a balance, and I kind of pulled back on tournament fishing. Still, when I fish tournaments, but I didn't fish as hard. And I think I cashed like 7 or 8 checks this year. So I didn't have a bad year, but my grind wasn't there. But I think I was a little happier, like as a
Mhm.
whole. I found a little more balance. I did some fun trips. I musky fished a little more. Did some fly fishing. Worked in that fun stuff that I love. But I think I need to turn it up a little bit more next year on the tournament side. So
Good. You guys, by the way, you guys got to see her muskie. Okay, so that's my one of my bucket list fish. I still haven't caught a muskie yet. Fishing Kid can tell you in a second here. He can tell you about a muskie thing that he just had recently, but I haven't yet. So I gotta. Hopefully, I can get with you on that one, so you can give me a little tips on that. But
absolutely.
that's been one of my want to in lives to catch a muskie, whether it's off a kayak,
Ugh.
shore, it doesn't even matter. I just want to catch one just to say I caught one, right?
Right. Oh yeah, they're the fish at 10,000 casts for a reason. And
There you
they
go.
will chew you up and spit you out. So be careful what you wish for.
Well, I had my first experience with the muskie like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Hold on. I love how you say your first experience. Well,
Yeah.
that's gonna be good. All right, I'm listening.
Okay. So I finally caught my first muskie. I wasn't fishing for muskies or anything. I was just throwing like a little spoon using a medium light rod with I think 6 pound test. And
Yeah.
then I just hook it to this. It felt like a log, like it did not move. But once it started moving and I saw it jump out of the water, I was like, oh, that's a muskie. And I'm not ready for this because my gear wasn't ready for it. I don't have a big net. I'm
Yeah.
just fishing light tackle. And then I hooked it in the tail. I was fighting that thing for I think half an hour before we got it landed. And there was three of my other buddies with me. We're all circling around trying to land it. And I'm like, it's gonna be so hard because I hooked it in the tail, and the hard part is getting the head up. And that's what I
Oh
was
yeah.
worried about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't count it as a catch, but it was a cool experience, and now I want to catch one like in the mouth.
That's a really good goal to have. A lot. I have that goal this year too because I've had a tough year musky fishing. So that's awesome. Yeah, they're a really neat fish. They live up to reputation as being the elusive predator, and they're definitely my favorite species. So I wish you the best on your quest.
Thanks. Well,
Yeah.
supposedly this lake, according to the DNR guy we talked to, it's supposedly the easiest place to catch a muskie, maybe in the world. His words, not mine. And then, maybe we'll let you know what lake that is offline.
Does it start with an O or a B?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. And I know two lakes in Iowa that are that seem to be pretty easy to catch on, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Look,
Sorry, listeners. Sorry, watchers.
My bad.
It's going to be a little bit offline on that one. So, okay, I used to live in Nebraska. I lived in Nebraska in Lexington. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Lexington is.
Yeah, I lived in Lexington for a lot of part of my lives and everything. But do you ever get a chance to go back there and ice fish?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You better believe it. Yep. I've got a lot of ice fishing things coming up, and I do it often in Nebraska.
Okay, so we'll have to reach out to you because do you ever like ice fish the sand hills and stuff? Area. Okay, so I'm gonna okay, because my brother-in-law, because we really got into ice fishing and everything, so
Cool.
I'm gonna have to reach out to you because that's been one of our, I guess you can say, goals is to go. I wanted to ice fish new lakes or areas, obviously every year. Sand hills was kind of on our I guess you can say list that we're going to try and do, because they live in, like I said, in Colorado, so we can kind of meet halfway there. So and then everybody, I didn't know, because I saw some of your videos that you doing ice fishing. I was like, man, all right. So
I used to guided ice fishing trips for 2 years when I was back home. So
really,
huge passion of mine. I guided kayak fishing trips for a couple years and did some ice fishing trips also, and took some clients out. So yeah, ice fishing has been a huge one of those passions I have that I don't really, like hunting. I'm actually, you do a lot of hunting and a lot of ice fishing, but I don't really promote it as well. I was kind of keep that for my own thing. But this year I'll share a little bit more of my ice fishing adventures this year. So
all right. Well, you don't have to share it, everybody. You can share with us. I'm okay with that. It's all good, Kristine. You can share with us. But yeah, because obviously the ice season is coming around the corner here, so that's why I'm pretty excited. So we'll see. All right, I'll have to reach out to you about that.
You bet.
I don't think there's going to be any ice fishing in Tennessee, though.
I know that. That's why I'll be home for 2 months, probably. I will be going back. I've got several big solo trips planned. I kind of really got into targeting trophy smallmouth through the ice, which you don't see hardly anybody doing. But I got onto a really good smallmouth bite last year. I ran up to the Glacier Lakes on a little solo trip, and I remember when I was up there fishing in the kayak, I was like, man, these would be great wintering holes for smallmouth. And I came back in the ice, and sure enough, I dropped the aqua view down, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was cool. So I really started to get a passion for big smallmouth through the ice. So
I don't think I've ever. Have you ever caught a smallmouth kit through the ice? I don't know if I have.
Not through the ice.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
They fight hard in open water.
They fight really hard through the ice. It's especially if you get them like a jig and wrap bite. You can't, like, I'm a trophy hunter. I mean, I can go out and put people on a bunch of panfish and stuff, but that's not really my thing. Like, I'd rather run and gun and look for big walleye, big pike, big smallmouth, all rod and reel. That's all I want to do. So
I think you would like chasing wipers through the ice.
Oh, without a doubt. They're hard through the ice though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're tricky through the ice.
Yeah, I've actually never caught one, and I know they're pretty. They don't really they don't feed very heavily through the ice, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like,
I think they're like, since they're pelagic, they're always roaming. So it's like, even if they are feeding, the problem is being on top of them.
Right, right. Yeah, Panoptics would come into handy with something like that, probably.
Yeah, we I think 2 years ago, Fishing Kit here got us, at least me, he got us on some pretty cool wipers through the ice. So
that's awesome.
In central Iowa, and then last year I stunk. So it is what it is. But then he got Fishing Kit here. He was catching catfish like crazy through the ice last year. So
last couple of years,
they're fun too.
So I think if I only caught those two species through the ice all winter, I'd be a happy angler.
Yeah. Man, a wiper, I can't even imagine. That'd be sweet. I need to spend a little more time learning that.
Oh, I might know a place or two.
Yeah.
Maybe I will exchange some things. I'll look y'all up.
We'll reach out to you on that, especially if it's a good bite this year, because we've had some guests actually reach out to us about that. They want to catch some wipers through the ice because it's man, I like Fishing Kit say, if I can catch one of those through the ice, if that's all I was fishing for, I'd be okay too.
I think I'm with Kit on that.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I know. I love those fish. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I only got one in my little picture over here.
Yeah, that's why I saw that.
Oh man. Have you caught very many catfish through the ice?
Yeah, I've caught a lot of catfish through the ice, both intentionally and unintentionally. You can usually tell, like on the Vexilar, if it's catfish by how it's acting, and big mark comes in real slow off the bottom. And I've caught a lot of catfish, and they're I mean they're fun too. They're fun too.
Cool.
Yeah, I finally started getting into them last year through the ice. It was something I've always wanted to catch through
Mhm.
the ice because I'm big into catfishing. Then once I felt like it was a relief once I started catching them through the ice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a neat fish too. Especially when you hook into a big like the channel catfish. I think kind of have a different type of fight to them, but you get into like a big blue or a flathead. It's
Oh,
nuts. I mean, it's nuts. I've done that, and it's wild.
a blue through the ice?
I've never caught a blue, but I caught a flathead, big
Oh,
flathead.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I haven't done that. Oh, I haven't
Wow.
caught a catfish through the ice, period. This okay, so that's my goal. I told this guy right here this year, he goes, all right, you got to take me wherever he went last year because I saw his video. I was like, man, he was on fire with the catfish, so he's got to get me on that. So
That's awesome.
we
Yeah.
got we got to try that. But
I'll see what I can do.
come on, dude.
Hey, if it means I'm catching big catfish through the ice too, then I'm down for it.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. I actually wanted to kind of just ask you a little bit too, Kristine. I was just wondering, like, okay, so this day and age, we can't lie. There's fishing. Okay, so women, I see a lot of sex appeal, because that's
Hmm.
what sells, whatever the case may be. So I want my daughters obviously to grow up and get into, fishing and everything. But have you seen negativity in regards to that, whether it has to do with business aspect or anything? Because I mean, do you get, I guess you can say whether you get haters or whatever, because it's just a industry where it's obviously predominantly male,
Hmm.
but then you see all these Instagram, social media is probably the biggest reasoning behind all
Yep.
the crazy
Yep.
madness. Okay,
Right.
so because you look at Instagram, you look at Facebook, you look at even YouTube now. I mean, you just see um, it's just women that are into the sport, but then all of a sudden it's just like it feels sometimes when you look into it, they kind of take away from the actual sport and the knowledge of it.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering, do you ever feel like you get prejudged or whatever, whether in a business sense, and how do you overcome stuff like that?
Yeah, so that was one of my biggest obstacles, and fueled a lot of my older blog posts
Okay.
about the struggles. Because I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, I was pretty angry at a lot of how a lot of these women were taking advantage of our industry.
Hmm.
And initially, like I said, it burned me, and I thought, like, when I first got into it, the face of female fishing was a bikini angler that was utilized and sponsored all over the place. And you could just tell, like, she when she went to cast a spinning rod, it was like she was launching a surf rod. And she could tell she didn't care about the sport.
Yeah.
And would straddle a boat, and I was like, man, I can't, like, I don't have any kids, but if I did have a daughter and that was what she thought women look like in fishing, I can't handle that. And that almost like lit this fire to really push out and my message and my agenda, and to say, look, this is not how I want women to be represented in the sport. So I kind of took that anger from 5 years ago and rechanneled it into, look, I can't change what they're going to do. I probably can't fault them because they're taking advantage of a flaw in our system and making a lot of money and whatever they're going to do. But you know what? I'm going to stay true to me, and I'm going to channel my energy and keep pushing, keep working hard, and break down these stereotypes, because that was one of the biggest things. I felt like they were making it harder for me to be taken seriously
Mhm.
in the industry. And I felt that. I'd go to the classic or any of these trade shows, and I'd stand at a rod booth, and people would think that I was like a booth model. They'd walk by me, they'd say, hey, we want to talk to someone about this, like, new glass rod for cranking. And I was like, yeah, what do you want to know? Like, I love it. I got the 7.2 heavy moderate. It's phenomenal for like your DT6, DT10s. Then you got a little heavier one for the 8 or 10 XDs. Like, and nobody wanted to listen to me. So it took me, but I think I had training for that. because when I worked at the sporting goods store, I was the only female on hard goods. And I'd have customers call and I'd answer the phone and I had several times they asked for a male associate,
Mm.
someone that worked in the department. And then, I had customers that I'd be selling high-end bows, and I was actually a bow tech. So I worked on these bows. Like I did better than half the guys that worked there on it. But I'd get overlooked and, just disregarded so many times. And I finally, looked at it and said, look, I understand it because I do that a little bit. If I hear a gal's a legit angler, I kind of am a little skeptical at first.
Mhm.
And I learned that, it's one of those things where you got to lead by example. And if the harder I worked and the more I worked, I know I can't change the way everybody views me, but I think that I've been pretty fortunate to gain a lot of respect and a lot of people in my corner and the right people in my corner over the years. After years working at the sporting goods store, I had several customers that were so loyal to me for my honesty and for my hard work and my knowledge of the product. And I was one of the best salesmen there, and developed this customer base. And it just took me a little bit longer to do so, and I'm okay with that. I think it builds a lot of character that way. And knowing that I can help kind of give these young women like your daughters a different type of role model and let them know that, look, you don't have to go out there and look a certain way or act a certain way to get attention in this industry. Like, you just go out there and be yourself. And if you're true to yourself and you're genuine, there is going to be a future for you here, and acceptance. And that's what I'm trying to do every single day.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Mm.
I kind of want to say about that. I feel like perception is slowly starting to change, because for a while, when you would think, oh, a chick that fishes, you just think like some bikini chick. And then
Mhm.
you already know she's not really a fisherman. She's just
Yeah.
kind of just taking advantage of like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in a bikini, but oh, here's a fish or something.
Yeah.
But I noticed in the last couple of years, like including yourself, there's like a few other, anglers that just happen to be females. I want to
Mhm.
like name like Natty up north, Nicole Stone, awesome anglers, and they just happen to be females, and they're not leveraging, I guess the sex appeal aspect of it. You guys
Mhm.
are just bringing forth like your knowledge and your skills, uh, more than anything else, and that's
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's good to see that people are able to kind of look through that now and see it for what it is, and support the women out there that are really grinding and trying to make waves. And now it's, the companies are wanting these women that don't just, that they can talk the talk and walk the walk. They want to go out there and do product videos. And that's, if you look at it, it's a really interesting thing. If you look what it takes to be a male professional and what it takes to be get a female sponsored angler, the
Mhm.
males have to do so, and they're doing so much more.
Mhm.
And that's one thing that I want to be changed. Like, for my sponsors that I've got, I'm out there shooting product videos. I'm talking about the product. I'm, filming fishing shows, like doing all this stuff. And I think that I want to set that standard for other women in the industry to say, look, don't just take easy hands out, like work your tail off for it. Show that you deserve these opportunities that are coming to you. Because it's a really good time to be a female in this industry. There's not a lot of them, and there's definitely not a lot that are actually legitimate and true professionals in that regard, and have the abilities and the talent to kind of paint this different picture.
Mhm.
And I think it's really important to keep showing that you're more than just a female that happens to be a rarity in a sport, but you can actually do this like as a true professional in it. And I think that that's a big goal of mine, is to continue to do that and be a true professional in everything that I do with this.
Cool. No, that's that's very true on that.
Some inspiring words
I
right
know,
there.
man, love it. And because okay, you didn't have a TV when you were growing up.
Yeah.
Now, social media is insane right now when it comes to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. So, how are you? I mean, because you, I would say you probably started jumping into the YouTube world, like you said, about 2 years ago. Instagram,
Mhm.
everything started, all this stuff. I mean, because technically, that's not, like you were just saying, it's not your thing. It wasn't your thing. So how are you dealing with that? I mean, because you're successful. in regards to that? Because I think you're following. This is the thing. From this day, 1 year from now, we can take a look at your Instagram and your YouTube channel. I can almost guarantee you it's going to be at least doubled, if not tripled. By
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
it just will be. It's just the way it's going to go. But how are you dealing with that? Because this is kind of out of your norm in a way. Because
I don't.
I'm with you.
Right.
I'm not the biggest social media guy. I'm not a huge thing on this. I just love to talk a lot. You can ask this guy. You know, I just talk a lot. That's why we do this. And I love beer. Thanks, man. But you know, and we just did this thing because, you know, like I said, I talk a lot, but I love beer and I love fishing. But how are you dealing with the social media? I mean, how are you taking? Because like you were saying, it wasn't your thing to kind of push the sport and push your brand in a way.
You know, I kind of saw that's as far as like the growth, I didn't really, I'm not a person that looks at analytics or even pretends to understand them or see what's trending, or, you know, I've never been a trending person in all my life. I just, and there's a lot of people that do very well social media, and they utilize what works and what gains attention and all of this. I never was like that. I think that for me, I just said, you know what, I don't want to make social media my job. I could probably be way more successful if I did, because let's be honest, that's where a lot of potential is. But that takes away from who I am as a person. And I decided not to really make everything I do about social media, because I think it's like a double-edged sword, right? There's good and bad. You can become so absorbed with it, and it takes away from the true meaning of life. And I think a lot of times we get so guilty of that mindless scrolling and thinking, you know, having our self-worth be related to our following. And I'm hoping to find some way through social media to get this message out that it's not about the following or the likes or this, you know, it really isn't in the grand scheme of things. So if I didn't have to be on social media, I'm not sure that I would. But then again, I get this amazing opportunity to share, you know, my journey and my experiences and inspire other people. So what I did was I just was myself. I didn't post at, I guess there's like certain times where if you post are like better than others. I have no idea. I just kept posting whenever and put stuff out there. And you know, my YouTube titles are not clickbaity at all. And I just kind of did my own thing. And I think having tournament success really helped catapult my growth. Last year, I saw a huge jump. And I think it's because a lot of the people that started kind of taking notice were some big people in the industry, and you started talking and, you know, helping me. And so I've kind of built myself on something different than social media, but it's a necessity in this game too. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question at all in that endless rant, but I hope that I've made some type of a
you made sense. It's just because I'm like with you. I'm just not a big fan of social media, but like you were just saying, this day and age, we all know it's a necessity. No matter if you're trying to build a brand or you're trying to get your message across, like you were just saying. Right. I mean, what better way to get your message across on a free platform, you know?
Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right.
To the millions.
Yeah. It's like you can't be a good old boy and just flat out catch them in tournaments. If you can't, you gotta, to be like a professional angler nowadays, companies need to have that ability to be well spoken and to have a social media presence. And guys that are the best anglers in the world, some of them are getting left behind because they don't have it. And you almost have to like take that into consideration moving forward. It's like you have to be very well rounded in what you do. And I hate that's how it is. I think if you're one of the best out there in angling, you should get the opportunities. But sadly, they want to see, they're almost moving towards the social media side of it. And I think that's kind of sad in all reality. But
don't sell yourself short. Like when you were saying, when you saw the big turnaround, you said last year is because of your tournament wins. Yes, but I also just to give you FYI, like your videos, it's like I was saying earlier, it's knowledgeable. There's stuff, the content that you were putting on there that you were teaching.
Yeah, and I enjoy that. I do enjoy making the tournament recaps, and they've been kind of fun for me to kind of experiment with. So I'll keep doing it. I still have to get my Gunnersville. I cashed a check at the national championship, which is one of our biggest tournaments, and I've got great footage there, and it's just sitting on my laptop. So I've got to get around to editing that and getting it out. I need to have like an assistant or something, but I'll get around to getting that out there.
that's a good thing to have, by the way. Good
Yeah.
good problem to have, that you
Yeah.
have amazing content that you just
sitting there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
Here,
oh,
here's how I cash a check, but
I gotta consider hiring somebody to edit videos for me.
yeah, gosh. Hopefully I get to that level where I can do that and just have someone say, hey, here's all the footage, make magic of it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go fish. 'Cause that's all I want to do is be fishing, and editing does not allow me to fish at the same time. So
I kind of started getting to the YouTube thing, and man, editing just takes so much of it out of your time. I mean,
it does.
if you want to have like quality videos too.
It really does. Yeah, you gotta, and that's why I always knew you can't truly be a tournament angler and a YouTuber. And I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a tournament angler. That's how I wanted my identity to be. And unless you have like you're one of the top pros out there, and they've got someone that does all that for them, like Brandon or Jacob Wheeler or anybody like that. But I'm not at that level yet, so I still do all my own work. And
Yeah, you're not doing too bad.
yeah, we'll see.
In regards to tournament kayak fishing, so just so everybody knows, it was kind of cool because I think I heard one of your other episode podcasts that you did, and you don't have that show that you bring up your whole bag of fish and everything, right? So the cool thing about this is the awesome thing about kayak fishing is that you catch it, you measure it, you take a picture of it, and you literally release it back, correct?
Right away. Yeah.
Right away. So
incredible for the fisheries.
yeah, and that is one of the coolest things. I didn't know that they did that with kayak fishing, was that they, you literally CPR, you catch picture, release it, just measure it, and they have a card and everything. So anyone who's looking to get into tournament fishing, there's a video. I think I'll tell Fishing Kit to link this up. But you were giving some great tips on the card, how not to get it wet, how to take pictures and use the bump board and all that stuff. It was really, I think a lot of people like gained a lot of knowledge just from that quick little like less than 10-minute video. Yeah, it was cool. Yep. So because I'm thinking about it one day. I don't know, I'm not good enough fishing, but I might just do it for fun. So we might do it next year.
You need to. Iowa's got an incredible like local scene. Actually, my good buddy from Iowa, who fishes IKA, is staying with me right now. He's coming down to fish a little bit with me down here. I'm trying to get him on his first muskie and staying with my roommate and I. So I know all the Iowa kayak anglers, and they've got a good club and they're good people, and it's just about the community. You don't have to be this, this all-star angler. You just get out there, and the local grassroots scene is so welcoming and so great. And it's you guys should try it. I think you'd really like it.
All right. We're gonna have to now.
Yeah. You have to.
We're committed to now, kid. We already told Kristine we're gonna do it. We got to do it.
I'm gonna hold y'all to it too.
All right, we're gonna hold next year because obviously
good
season. I think we should at least try one.
Yeah.
I guess that means I better start like trying to catch some bass now.
Yeah, not the white ones either. Gotta get the green fish.
Yeah.
That's important. They won't. You can try to send the picture in, but they won't accept that.
It's a bass. Come on.
I know. I've tried it though. It doesn't work.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I want to try some catfish tournaments too, but those don't seem to be as popular. Especially with the kayak.
I actually fished 2 of them back when I lived in Nebraska. They had a big one on Milford. It was the Mud Cat tournament, and it was my teammate, and it was a team tournament. And I actually caught 2 blues of a flathead on the kayak, and these like 5-foot rollers. It was insane. I get a cast net, catch live gizzard shad, cut them up on the boat, go out, anchor down into the waves, straddle my kayak so my feet were off the side so I could kind of stabilize myself. And I had time. We could use 2 rods, and I had time where both rods were like doubled over, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, this is wild. And it was I think we got 3rd in that. It was an awesome, a lot of fun. But yeah, they're just not as popular. Bass kind of dominates the whole thing,
And so everybody's wondering, you have a Hobie. I think you represent the Hobie, and Fishing Kit got a Hobie. So, and I'm just wondering, like, it makes it because when you watch your videos, and I can see it's just like, man, it's just I'm almost convinced I might have to get a Hobie now because
that's right. Yes.
I said almost. Hold on, because because cost effectiveness. I mean, you get what you pay for. It is obviously top of the line, but the thing is, it's so cool to see you standing on your kayak and it barely even moves. I'm just like the stability that you have on that yak. I'm just like, I'm really, really considering it without my wife watching this show.
It's
Because
for your wife. They cost about $27 and change.
all right, okay, I'll tell her that. No zeros behind that.
No zeros behind it. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's just like, because we in this our podcast we talk about kayak fishing quite a bit because we love it. It's pretty cool. I got back into it this year. I'm super stoked and excited to really get back into it, hopefully in the years to come. Is there any specific, I guess you can say, if somebody's looking to get into kayak fishing, any recommendations, whether kayaks or just what would you say if somebody's looking to get into kayak fishing?
Two things. As far as like getting into the sport, it's the thing I love the most about it is our community. I've over the last 3 or 4 years, I truly feel like I've got so many big brothers and sisters in this sport that are cut from the same cloth. They're very simple people. They just love to share everything they've got, and we camp together. And most every state that I'm aware of has a great grassroots level where you've got these little clubs, and you don't have to fish tournaments. You just they hang out and go fish together, and there's incredible camaraderie. So look into your state's local level, just clubs, kayak clubs. You don't have fish tournaments, but if you want to and see what they're all about, dip your toes in, you have the option. And as far as kayaks go, yeah, I mean, I've had the opportunity to work with whatever kayak company I wanted to, and I felt fortunate for that. But ultimately, Hobie, they're the best in the game for a variety of reasons. If you want a truly good experience, I feel like, I did the same type of sales when I worked at Shields. I was always push people to get that one step better because it makes your experience so much better every time. It really does. You want to buy a $300 bow, or you want to buy a $900 bow that draws better, has a great back wall. It's not going to slap your arm. And it's like the proof is there, and you can get a deal on a great used Hobie. But having the drive and the ability to go in super shallow water and shed grass, and it's just it's limitless. So you got to check out the Hobie. I hope you get a Hobie because you won't regret it.
This
Kit can attest to this. I know
he
it.
He keeps telling me, he goes, just okay. I got
Just
back
do
into
it. Just do it.
Okay, here we go again. So I got into kayak. I got back into it because I left for a while because I had so many darn kids. And I just bought a kayak this year.
Your kids can fit on the Hobie. When I guided, I'd have kids come out and I'd sit them on the front of my Hobie.
Okay. That's a great selling point. I love that.
I got you. I'm trying to work for you here.
All right, I'm going to tell the boss that one. I love it. Okay,
that's
so,
right.
But yeah, he's been selling. He goes, dude, you just get a pad. He goes, and it's true though. Fishing kid goes, think about it. What do you fish with? Your arms.
Yeah, so, hands free, man. Hands free.
Big deal. Big deal.
It makes because I still have the paddling style. It's just I know.
It's okay. I started with that too, and I wish that if I could tell my young self to buy a Hobie 6 years ago, I would have done that.
Dang it. All right.
I think most of us that I don't think a lot of people jump straight into Hobies though.
They don't, but everyone that is in this thing wishes that they did.
Right. Yeah. I got an older Outback. I think it's a 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually bought it. It was like a display model.
Yeah, so. And you can get great deals on them. I mean, you really can if you look out there on the kayak pages on Facebook and stuff. There's people selling Pro Anglers and Outbacks, and you can get a great deal. And those boats are just, man, they're worth every penny, I think.
Yeah. What do you run normally? Is it a PA 14?
PA 14. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I wasn't sure if you had the 12 or the 14.
No, I have. Yeah, I got it for 14. I like the 14.
That thing's a beast.
It is a total beast. It's gives me a workout every time I try to load it and run ramps for pre-fishing.
So. Yeah, when I think one of your latest videos when you guys put in underneath that bridge. I was like,
oh my gosh. My buddy, like he's like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this. And I was like, oh, we're gonna do it. It's gonna take all of us, but we're gonna make it happen. And yeah, that the Outback would have been perfect for what I was trying to do there. Perfect. Weighs a lot less, and that it was an adventure.
Yeah. I mean, you caught fish. It was worth it.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was like that was a great trip. I love that stuff.
All right, guys, I'm gonna
better. I don't know. Start selling cans or something, Grandy.
I'll contemplate.
Save all those beer cans that you be drinking.
I'm gonna have to save a lot, brother. I'm not gonna lie, but it's all right. Hey. But I do see you guys on that. I'm just like, man, I'm super jealous just to kind of see. Because I see you live, like, hands free, and then I'm just like, hey,
Mhm.
I love my kayak. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It works, catches me fish, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wish, like, gosh, I wish I didn't have to paddle at this moment,
Yeah.
and I could just cast this way. And I wish I can stand all of a sudden, but it
Oh
just
boy, you change your life.
all right. It might happen. We'll just
Yeah.
we'll
I
I'll
wanna
work.
I wanna experience the 360. Now
Oh,
that's
Yes.
something I really want to experience.
All right.
it's a whole nother level of possibilities, maneuverability.
Yeah.
It's Hobie is just great because they're so dang innovative. You know, they're always pushing the needle, and I'm pretty proud to be able to represent them. And they do a great job, and their engineers are just these. I mean, they're geniuses. They really are. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
like all the other brands, I feel like are kind of gunning for Hobie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, and they
they're
always
trying to
have been.
knock
It's
them
always
off the top.
They are, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's it probably there's there's a lot of great brands out there. You know, Old Town makes a great boat. There's a lot of good kayak companies, and I think the best thing you can do, realistically, as much as I love Hobie, you've got to get in all the boats you can, demo them, and see what best suits your personal fishing style. That's
Agreed.
important.
Yep. Totally agree with you on that. Man. So what do you do when okay, so winter's coming up. What do you do?
What do you mean? I'll be fishing.
Besides
Yeah. It's warm down
I
oh
there.
mean, I'll be
yeah,
fishing. Yeah.
down south. True, true. But when
Yeah.
you're back home, I guess you just
Fishing.
ice fishing,
Oh
right?
yeah, ice fish. Yeah, I spend like I love my family. I cherish every second I have with them. So I'll spend a lot of time with them. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of hunting, except I brought my bow and all my decoy, everything down here. So and I'm gonna fly home. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that. But um, I'm gonna do a lot of ice fishing.
Cool.
You know, that's I'm always on the go. I'm always doing stuff outdoors. So catching up with my friends and family back home. I only get to get back home twice a year.
Mm,
That'll take priority first, and make sure that I'm, you know, that's the most important thing out there, as you well know, being a dad and a husband and your family. You can't take that stuff for granted. So I do a lot of that, playing cards, hanging out with my grandpa and my grandma, and you know that's important. But then when I'm not doing that or they're all working, I'll be on the ice. You can find
nice.
me there.
Nice, nice. So, before I forget, I had to ask because my daughters wanted me to ask you. So I had two questions. I got one, Damon, she's my oldest, and then I have Scotty, she's my middle or second
We
oldest.
met Scotty. She
Yes,
was
we met
made a
Scotty.
guest appearance.
Yes, and their question was, I mean, it's simple, easy question, but they just wanted to know. They go,
Yeah.
so what's the biggest, heaviest fish, the weight wise, that you've ever caught on your kayak? Number one, and number two was, what's the longest fish you've ever caught off of your kayak? PBs.
Man, that's a great question. So I caught like probably a 7.5, maybe 8 foot sturgeon. And then I also caught a giant sailfish. Um,
Wow.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of which one would have been bigger. The sturgeon was definitely longer. And I'd probably assume that the sturgeon probably weighed more too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can't wait. Yeah, when this that large in your
Yeah, I mean,
kayak,
I can't weigh it.
you're not
No,
weighing it. Yeah, I get
no,
that. I get
no,
totally get that. But
no.
dang, okay, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to let them know. That's a big
Yep. Big
fish.
sturgeon. And the sailfish was pretty big too. So either one of those, it definitely be one of those two. I've caught a lot of species in the kayak over the years, but definitely one of those two. Were the two
Cool.
would be my two biggest.
Awesome. I'll let them know.
Yeah.
Hmm. So since you caught so many species, what's one species that you really want to catch that you haven't caught yet?
Striper.
Ah, that'd be cool.
Like Atlantic striper, like the big, like 50, 60 pound striper in the kayak. That is something I haven't done yet. And it is, you know, I like those predator fish. I like the fight. And I as much as I love muskie, and don't tell the muskie that I said this, I think that the striper have a better fight than the muskie. So
Ooh.
and that's what I've heard anyway. And I think, you know, just after catching some smaller, I caught like a 20 pounder on Lanier. I was pretty blown away at the sheer muscle and the ability of this fish. And I was like, man, I've got to go out to the ocean and catch like a giant striper in my kayak. So I'm gonna stay tuned. It's coming. I'm
Awesome.
gonna make it happen.
Awesome. Yeah, make that
That's so
happen.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like one of my bucket list fish too.
Yeah,
So I
big.
like your style.
Yeah, yeah. I like big fish that run. So
Yeah, you've been saying that though, fishing kid. You've been saying that you've been wanting to catch a striper. You guys got to make it. Man, I wish. Man, it's just seeing.
They're
It'd be nice.
they're super cool fish.
Yeah, I might have to dip my toes into a landlocked striper first before I
Yeah.
make it to the ocean. 'Cause,
See, I like to just go head first off the deep end and just go for the, that's
yeah,
probably what I'm gonna try to do.
Cool. You got anything else for Kristine? I mean, this was I would talk to her for longer and longer, but I just feel bad that if we keep her too long. I know you're super busy. Because we can just talk for hours. I honestly, but
Yeah, I would even touch on your hat.
Oh.
You look at your Chicago Bears fan. Who's your all-time favorite Bears player?
Okay.
Like all time.
All time, I mean, you can't go wrong with Walter Payton.
Mhm.
Walter Payton was the greatest player. He was amazing because he's the one who actually got me really into the Bears. I mean, back in the 85, I mean, I was 85. I was like 5 years old. That's why I'm so
Yeah.
attached to the Chicago Bears, because they won the Super Bowl. Walter Payton, they did the Super Bowl shuffle. I still remember to this day. And yeah, I'm a huge, Bears fan. Is sometimes to a fault, as my wife would say.
I did a report on Dick Butkus a long time ago.
Dick Butkus was a little bit too old for my.
Oh, I know. That's why I said,
viewing.
I mean,
Yeah.
like way back. And
Man,
he was mean though. And
he was.
like,
When you watch,
that was cool.
You watch his highlights. He's a bad boy.
Bad boy.
Yeah, he was.
I thought that was pretty freaking cool. So we got to choose like one sports player. Or it wasn't even sport. It was somebody like in history, and I chose Dick Butkus to do it.
Nice. So Nebraska. I mean, I guess we're about to end this, but I just want to know a little bit more about Nebraska, because we go, where do we Lake McConaughey.
Yeah, McConaughey.
So
McConaughey quite a bit.
We always go to McConaughey to catch some big fish.
Mhm.
They have some nice species there. Do you ever kayak there? Before we end this, I just want to know, because I wasn't sure. Do you ever kayak that lake, or is it's pretty? I don't know. I was just wondering. Can you kayak there? Have you ever?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that kayak fish in McConaughey. I've done it once or twice at night. I fished a Roadrunner tournament, and I went there to try to get some of those big trophy walleye that they are known for.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've done it a couple times, but definitely not my favorite to fish. But it's okay.
I just
But
wondering.
you absolutely can, and you should when you get that Hobie.
Yeah. You join me.
Yep.
All right. If I get it, we're going, Kit. All right.
That's right.
And then we can take pictures, or we can have Kristine meet us there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Sounds good. All right, man. Kit, you got anything else for Kristine? This is bad. Hey, I love this episode. This is gonna be awesome. So
I appreciate y'all having me. It's been a good conversation.
Yeah. I guess kind of when we get kind of near the end, you just want to talk about, what you got going on, share your social media, things like that, how people can get a hold of you.
Yep. So like we talked about, I'm kind of new to YouTube, but I've got a YouTube channel. And I think what is it under Kristine Fischer? I don't even know what I haven't. I think that's what it is, Kristine Fischer. Thank you, Granny, for putting that out there. My Instagram, Midwest Fisher Gal. I do most of my stuff on there probably, but I also have a new Facebook business page, and you can, when you can't find me on social media, you can find me on the water about 24/7.
So awesome, man. You know what? It's been a blast and so much knowledge to learn from you, but this has been fun. I want to get you back on here. I know you're so busy, but we'll get you back on. Hopefully we get an opportunity in next year or whenever we get a chance to, because I know you're super busy. But the biggest thing is I want to get out and ice fish and fish with you. And
you bet. Y'all give me a holler, and maybe we can make something happen on Thanksgiving and do some of that Kansas well around wiper fishing and do some stuff to the ice too.
Yeah.
All right, you got me stoked, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm stoked. All right, sounds so cool.
I'll bring the craft beer.
Sounds good. We'll have to share with each other who
maybe we could bring some Iowa whiskey.
Ooh, there we go.
All right. The stakes are raised, and I like it.
There we
That
go.
sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristine, for just joining us here. And then other than that, man, we'll just cheers to everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thank you again.